X's and O's?
Yeah.
Okay.
X marks the laces.
Yeah. Oh,
Welcome to Game Day Battle, where Cleveland sports news meets biased and outspoken opinion. Here with full Game Day crew, another enormous show. First thing, Browns not so great this last weekend with the score, but I think we had a lot of good things to maybe be a silver lining to that dark cloud. I also want to talk a little bit about the rest of the NFL and get into the Cavs. Brett Finnegan back with us. Cleveland Monsters rocking, I'm sure.
Oh, Christ, Lake Erie Monsters. Jesus Christ.
You know what's great?
And he's been...
I know. Like 5 episodes now I've said Cleveland Monsters.
Yeah.
Be out for a little while, guys. Brett also is normally here with us. He works with the Cleveland Monsters hockey team. Hockey season. Brett, what's up? Back again. Cleveland Monsters doing pretty good.
I don't know about the Cleveland Monsters, but Lake Erie Monsters.
nothing.
That's it.
Cleveland Monsters.
Cleveland Monsters.
I gotta ask you.
I'm going to start off with kind of bringing everybody in here. Brett, Lake Erie Monsters. So how's everything going there? I love checking up on it.
Let's see, we had a good game on Wednesday. We won 5-1 with a lot of fights. Friday and Saturday we lost. Still about 6 points out of first, so it's still early in the season. So
They selling out?
we're actually 4th in the AHL in attendance.
Really?
Yeah.
Impressive.
We'll support those guys.
DJ Felix, rocking out Anatomy still, I think, right?
We're there this weekend. Put on another great show. But you can catch me. I'm an updated best of the young man.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for.
BadCatDJ.com.
So they follow you on Twitter at, and you said
Yeah.
what was it again? The
Twitter.com/The Real DJ Felix. And then BadCatDJ.com.
and you'll follow back, right?
Yeah, definitely. Follow back.
Excellent. DST,
What's happening?
this show is
Awesome.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Fantasy Factory.
Fantasy Factor, definitely. Got some great news for you guys this week.
I want to give a big shout out to Game Day Battle sponsor, Bay's Brewing Company. It's actually an awesome beer. I'm really enjoying it, and it's kind of like a real dynamic flavor, a lot of like fruitiness to it, but not like a wimpy fruitiness. It's a beer,
A German stout.
a German stout.
Yes.
And we tried the name earlier, we couldn't quite get it, so we're not going to try it right now.
We'll go with Vanden.
It's something close to that. It's
Right.
very close to that. So something like that. But for information on how to maybe try some of this, just head to GameDayBattle.com. I'll have the information up there and get in contact with them. It's good stuff, and it's definitely worth checking out. And again, thanks for
Thanks for being our first sponsor.
Thanks.
for being a sponsor. Absolutely.
Thanks.
So there was a lot of gameplay Sunday. There was more than the normal 4 quarters. We had overtime, and it looked like we were heading towards a tie game. Some craziness happened at the end of it, and Ramon, I'm sure, going to have a lot to say about that in a minute. But I want to talk first about the game, the first 4 quarters.
I saw a lot of positive things. I mean, they didn't quit. 4-5 games ago, you would have seen a Browns defense or Browns offense that would just quit once they're down. But again, like Colt McCoy, I think had a great game.
Definitely. It was nice to see. They played 4.5 solid quarters of football. I really like what I saw the whole game through. It was nice to get to finally see Colt McCoy handle a 2-minute offense when he was down. But what I do want to talk about is the interception. And to step back and look at it, I want you to ask yourself if maybe you could believe that pass was thrown with the intent to let Joe Hayden intercept it.
It seems like throw the ball up there. You know, like he said, Joe Hayden, hungry for interceptions. You know, as a rookie,
I'm going to make the big play.
You know, if they really wanted to score a touchdown, I mean, Braylon Edwards would have done a lot more than just, you know, go behind him and then, you know, try to jump up with him.
But a veteran probably just would have knocked that one down, taken the punt, maybe get us at the 20, but instead we were at the 3. And then you want to question the play calling right away. They go into a pass formation and give up the first down. They give up our first down, you know, on an incomplete pass just because there was no time for him back there. Maybe they should have came out, taken Hillis up, try to get 4 or 5 yards, get a little bit of breathing room, and then maybe go from there. But they passed right away. That was 1 down. Then they knew we were going to go to the run because now we had to get a little bit of breathing room.
The one thing I do disagree with is the decision to pass in an obvious running situation. I think at that point in the game, granted it's a rookie quarterback, you're taking a huge risk at that point. But you know what? The way this team won the 2 games against New England and the Saints, we're just taking a ton of risks and not really caring about the results and hoping for the best. And I almost think in that situation, it's stupid to pass. You're right. It's absolutely stupid to pass, and that's why they should have passed. And if it had worked out, then there wouldn't even be a conversation about
the hero. Yeah,
right.
It would have been a great play call. Oh, you know, he really flipped it on him.
And I really, that's one thing I noticed about this team throughout the whole game is they seemed like they were a little more rigid, a little less, like they really felt like they didn't want to lose, they didn't want to beat themselves, you know? And that's not what we saw from the team against the Saints and New England. They didn't care if they beat themselves. They just wanted to get some sort of possibility or get in the sort of, you know, the realm of winning the game or and finding themselves there and just, you know, holding on to it. So I didn't see that. I saw a rigid team. I saw a team that just didn't want to make mistakes, and I was kind of disappointed. Now there's one player that I think does deserve a bit of scrutiny. Ramon, this is all you, buddy.
Yeah, Eric wrong, man. But the secondary looked good. We held up, but once again, 2 of the biggest plays in that game was on Eric Wright.
The 2 plays that ended up deciding the game.
That's what I'm saying, yo. Those 2 plays and this guy limping around holding his groin, you know, that means you don't just leave him by itself.
Dance around behind him.
Yeah,
look
exactly.
Around. You get in front of the guy.
Yeah.
You cut off the throwing lane.
If nothing else, that's an easier guy to cover now. Not the guy that's out of play.
It's like covering a 10-year-old.
Right. It should be.
Hey, what's up, all you GDB fans? Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Factor. DST here, ready to break down all your fantasy football news from Week 10 and help you get ready to pull out that W in Week 11, because I know you guys are probably hunting for that win for that playoff spot. All right, guys, it's getting deep now. Free agent pool is starting to dry up, and there's pretty much no more names out there, but there are a couple guys, hit or miss through injury, that you might be able to add to help you guys through some bye weeks or injuries. Let's roll them, guys. QB, Troy Smith out in San Francisco. You know, there was some question if he was going to start or if they were going to roll with Alex Smith, but 2 games, 550 yards, and 3 touchdowns later, Alex Smith might be looking for a job next year, and you know I got to give Troy Smith a little Buckeye love. Also, running back situation out there in Carolina. We talked about it last week. We weren't really sure who was going to step up, but apparently Mike Goodson's going to be their guy until they get D'Angelo Williams back on the field. He was good for 100 yards last week, a couple receptions. Not a star. It's Carolina, but he'd make a great fill-in player for you. At the wide receiver position, I really like Anthony Armstrong out in Washington. You know, Donovan McNabb's deep threat. He hasn't been a monster in the end zone, but he's really starting to put together some 4 or 5 catch, 100-yard games. Definitely could be a little sleeper throughout the end of the season here. At the tight end position, I found this guy in 8 out of my 9 fantasy leagues, okay? Brandon Pettigrew out in Detroit. I know they got the 2-headed tight end system, but he's got 42 receptions this year. That's 3rd best for all tight ends. I mean, what more can you ask for, especially if you're in a PPR league? Go out there and try and get Brandon Pettigrew. Well, basically the only way to try to help your team right now through the end is going to be through trades. So through Week 10, I'm just going to run you off my top 5 at each position to try to give you an idea of these players and their value, and maybe you guys can work some magic, because it's definitely crunch time. Here we go. Quarterback position. Number 1, Drew Brees, of course. Phillip Rivers, touchdown machine. And of course, you got to put Peyton Manning in there. Aaron Rodgers having another monster year. And I also like little brother Eli out there in New York with all his weapons. Running back position, of course, Chris Johnson. He is an animal. Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore at the number 3 spot. San Francisco's picking up their offense. Definitely want him on my squad. Arian Foster and Jones Drew, who actually is looking to turn his season around right now. Wide receivers, Roddy White, without a doubt. He's the guy to have. Hakeem Nicks, touchdown machine. Brandon Lloyd, surprise of the year, no doubt. Wasn't even drafted in my league. If you guys can get him, I know you can't. Maybe through the trades, Brandon Lloyd. And then Reggie Wayne and Calvin Johnson to round out the top 5. Tight ends, Antonio Gates. Enough said. Number 2, Jacob Tame. Whoever the tight end in Indy is, you should have him starting on your squad. Also, I like Jason Witten, Mercedes Lewis, quietly catching 7 touchdowns so far. That's definitely a big kick. And Anthony Hernandez out there in New England, who had a big weekend, 3 touchdowns for him. Guys, you can check me out at DST@GameDayBattle.com with all your fantasy questions. I got a quick one here from username Johnny Blaze, who says, I'm in a 14-man PPR league. I have Andre Johnson, Brandon Marshall, and Mike Sims Walker, but my defenses are definitely questionable. Are star wideouts really worth a hit-or-miss D? And my answer for you, Johnny B, is definitely. The last thing you want is to be in the playoff race and have a defense come up and post maybe even some negative numbers for you. You sound like you're pretty solid at the wide receiver spot. If you had a chance to move one of those guys, maybe Brandon Marshall, he's kind of been a letdown, but still got that big name value. I would definitely try to move him for a top 5, maybe even a top 10 defense. So that's all I got for you guys today. Once again, check me out, DST@GameDayBattle.com. I'm looking forward to help you out, help you get that W. See you guys later.
All right, it is time. Everybody, it's time to own up to the words from last week.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough when, well, most of the room picked the Browns and they didn't win. So, Ramon, let's start off with you. You were pretty damn close, except you kind of had the wrong team winning. 27-21. But you picked the Browns to win.
I thought they were going to have it, but that's not. I guess it wasn't watching the show. You know.
No, they weren't. Well, you were closer than Dale.
Yeah.
I was way off.
13-10, and you picked the Browns to win.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like my gambling card all weekend. Just terrible.
Well, it was kind of a good weekend the weekend before, and then a little bit of an offset this last weekend.
Balances itself out eventually.
It really does. Brett, 21-17, you picked the Browns to win. Again, not too far off, wrong team, but I think that had it ended up in a tie, you probably would have been the closest, 21-17, and it would have ended up 20-20, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so what words do you have to say for Mr. Wright?
Go f yourself.
There you go. I wasn't exactly. I was a few points off either way. What?
Nothing. They said something. I just made a sound.
Never.
What am I talking about?
All right, well, we got just a bit more time.
It's hot down here.
Is
It's
it?
gonna be all right.
This is why I don't wear jeans.
You got 2 shirts on.
Wow, he is wearing jeans today.
He is wearing jeans. That's right.
I might raise my beard to Brett. Wow.
Raising my beard to Brett's jeans.
Let's get a quick flash of
Wranglers.
Brett's normal attire.
Could you? Yeah, please.
There, everybody see it?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we might lose a couple female viewers though.
They were
really
short.
enjoyed.
Definitely be back next
Really
week.
enjoyed seeing your inner thigh.
Right up
White.
there.
As I was saying before, yes, I'd like to get into a bit of the Cavaliers with the bit of time we got left. They won this last week, or I'm sorry, lost to the Pacers, so that was kind of disappointing. They were 3-3, now they're 4-5, so they've taken a step back. And I think that
We suck again.
it's that quick. Lose a few games, and all of a sudden we suck
Yeah,
again.
until we win a couple.
I think we're right there.
Well, we are. And Jameson, 19. Sessions, your boy, 17. Gibson, 15. That's cool. That's an NBA team right there.
And also, defense. I think we need to step up on the defense because now we got that run and gun offense and 126 points. You know.
What do you want? Do you want Mike Brown back here? Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. He can stay coaching
High school football.
high school football, or he could be the equipment manager.
There you go.
at the
their
local high school.
Their equipment's gonna be all jacked up then.
Yeah.
But
yeah.